Welcome. Join me in exploring one way to meet diverse learners' needs. When making deliberate decisions regarding how to best differentiate for your students, incorporating the instructional strategy of what's called a split screen may be just the right choice for you and your students. Let's go over the highlights, and you'll see how, in a differentiated instructional manner, split screen can help your students in the near future. So, what is it? A differentiated instruction split screen will involve the formation of purposefully created flexible grouping based on recently collected individual student data, ideally a targeted check. After interpreting that formative assessment data, you will know which students can go on to the next step or dive deeper into the lesson or unit's objectives, and which students are on track and would benefit from additional practice, and which students need more instruction. Scaffolds or tiered material can be provided to assist in differentiating the learning for all. So, let's go over some critical attributes. A successful split screen has many critical attributes. It creates deliberately designed flexible groups supporting those who can in a differentiated way as compared to those who cannot yet and need another learning opportunity. A split screen allows the teacher, who is, after all, the best scaffold, time with those who need her most. It uses a formative assessment, again, ideally a targeted check, to decide how to split up the class. Additionally, a split screen includes planned and frequent check-ins with students who are working individually or in small groups away from the teacher, and perhaps most importantly, if you want a successful split screen, you need to set clear expectations and procedures for effective group management. Very often, split screen, which is one of the most widely used strategies, is also one that teachers are initially most fearful of. They're worried about giving up control in the classroom, having multiple things going on at once, keeping students accountable and on task, and ensuring everyone is getting the support they need. Conversely, for those teachers who have invested in this strategy, it often becomes one of their most effective DI strategies and is in their rotation at least once per unit. So, why use a split screen? Simply put, split screens are an effective way to meet students at their correct level of difficulty. Usually, it is used when there are 3 or less levels of readiness, or readiness groups in the class. More often than not, when interpreting targeted check informative assessment, you'll find that student readiness does naturally break into 3 levels of understanding regarding the assessed objective. Here's some guidelines to keep in mind. Use the data at hand to inform the best groupings to suit your students' needs. And what may be obvious, plan out what each group will do while the others work on their own. Note, the teacher doesn't always have to work predominantly with the students who need the most support. There can be other ways to give appropriate support without the teacher's direct involvement. Also, you have put in the effort to assess their current level of understanding, so follow through and provide the assignment at their correct level of difficulty. And clearly don't underestimate the power of management as a component. As with any new process in the classroom, the time invested to prepare yourself and your students before the first few times you implement a new strategy will yield better outcomes. Using what you know about your students, decide if it would be best for students not with you to be working alone, with partners, or in groups. And keep in mind, the configuration you use today could vary from level to level, and it could vary each time you use split screen as a strategy. Be sure to establish and communicate the expected time frame, and always, always, always provide an anchor assignment tied to the lesson or unit's main objectives so that students who finish early or are waiting a time to check in with you will have appropriate work to keep them moving toward the lesson's objectives. By minding these guidelines, you are setting yourself up for success in incorporating the split screen strategy into your bag of tricks for meeting diverse learners' needs.